Bonjour, 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 bonjour. Hello. It is Monday. We're here for our weekly anchor message where we are receiving our spiritual lessons for the week. And out of the wild unknown archetype, we have the mystic, followed by sirens, the siren, followed by the ocean. Underneath the mystic, we have 6 of Wands. Underneath the siren, we have 8 of Swords. And underneath the ocean, we have 7 of Swords. All right, so for starters, the mystic here, like I would say, think of the shaman combined with the poet. Looking for the beauty in life, having awe and wonder in the creator, and looking for ways that the creator is hiding everywhere, all around us and in every situation, or proactively looking for ways to reveal the creator in every situation. And so the shaman, much like the mystic, they both have an alchemical responsibility to proactively seek out their own shells of negativity in order to break those, to break their ego, to break their own inclination, to break their own selfishness, in order to reveal more of the light of their soul, more of the light of the creator, and more of the light of unconditional love and sharing in this world. And it's hard to break down those layers of ego, right? And even though we may see that traditional like religious leaders or even psychologists or psychiatrists might lead you to feel like you're very justified in many situations in your anger, resentment, all the feelings, right? The alchemist or the Kabbalist, they proactively say, regardless of whether or not it's justified, does that get me more points on the scoreboard of revealing my light and breaking the shells of negativity, or does it reinforce my comfort zone? It makes me feel a little bit better. It might be the slow path to healing, but do we want to be on the accelerated path to healing and without bypassing, right? And so therein lies the struggle many times. But what Hanukkah teaches us and the dark times of year teach us is that there are gifts and there are treasures in those dark places. And we can find gifts and blessings in those too. And so we can embrace them all, but in their season and in their time. So we are in this limbo between now and the next lunation. We just had our full moon. So on the next new moon, that begins eclipse season. And eclipse season either sucks things out, rips things out, chops things, prunes things. I think of it as like a spiritual hurricane sort of vacuum that just like sucks away or rips away anything that you're hanging on to with like white knuckled grip that's just not supposed to be in your life anymore, that's not yielding fruit, that's not for your highest good, the contract is no longer valid kind of thing. It's like getting all of that stuff out of the way. Or an eclipse can accelerate the seeds that you've recently planted if you've offloaded a lot of that density and baggage. So, and though the effects of the eclipse play out for like 6 month periods. So we don't want to spend the next 6 months undoing and shedding and going through painful process. We want to do all that now with happy heart, voluntarily. You know, if you can't forgive someone, at least start praying for God to help you find the willingness to see it differently, find the willingness to forgive, find the willingness to, and guide me on the path to forgiveness, right? So just start with the willingness so that you can nurture the seeds that you are planting right now. Any seeds you're currently planting, any intention that you're setting, you want to do that now between the next over the next 2 weeks. I know usually in a waning cycle, we're releasing and we're letting go. We're not really planting, but I think now's a good time to balance both and to see that there's an opportunity here at hand. And the key that we've got 6 of Wands here, which is like overcoming a struggle, rising above the fray, right? Overcoming the circumstances and being victorious, being successful. So we've got the butterfly here and the hummingbird that can fly above the lower level understanding, the material consciousness, and see it from a higher perspective. And so you can see how life's pressures can actually yield diamonds and positive fruits, but you don't see it in the mess unless you're really, really, really looking for it. And that is what the mystic does. And they see the beauty in that, in every moment, even if it's like the uncomfortable, not so desirable moments. Now, the siren here is very alluring, right? It lures us into the waters, into the depths. And so it can either be dangerous or reveal great beauty and adventure, depending on how much awareness we have of the trickery and the illusion that can happen once you're in the water. So we see the character here is like stuck in this cage, but it's only an illusion. The door is open and they've outgrown the situation. They're feeling like trapped. They're feeling, closed in on. And so all that it requires is to get out of the self-loathing and the self-consumption and the self-obsession and look up at the situation and just take action, right? Our messages recently have been saying that our own freeze response, our own like self-defeating tendencies are really the last thing holding us back at this point, because we've got everything it takes. We've got all the know-how, all the skills, all the resources. We've done the work of preparation and we've prepared the vessel, and now we can really have a chance to reveal this next level of potential. So instead of, getting caught up in the temptation of the soap opera, I'm a victim, why is this happening to me, everything's fraught. Instead, notice that inclination and that triggered response, that affected response, that reflexive kind of pattern that's coming up, and then try to restrict yourself, pause, and emotionally detach. Don't get caught up in the soap opera, but watch it from the outside, like an analyst, right? Don't get emotionally caught. But you're going to explore those depths, explore the subconscious to see, okay, what is out of my consciousness that are automatic response mechanisms that have been built into my hardware, because my body, my ego thinks that this is going to protect me, but it's actually just keeping me stuck and keeping me going through the same loops that it's familiar with, but it doesn't take me anywhere good, right? So being able to observe without getting sucked in to the illusion, into the dream, into the matrix. So we've got depths here, depths of potential, depths of, undiscovered, layers. And so one of the things that we're doing by facing this is overcoming overwhelm and that low-level trauma response to freeze, by facing fears and owning them and shining the light on those like shadowy ghosts in the closet, so that we can see that it's just the mess in the closet. There's nothing there. There's no real threat. And so facing the fears, facing our limiting beliefs, facing the things that keep us frozen, and not only that, but really discovering the self-deceptions, right? The projections, right? What is it? And also what's stealing from us, right? What robbers, figuratively speaking, are coming in and wasting our energy, our resources, maybe energy vampires in different forms, sucking energy and willpower and our positive, productive chemistry in our body that keeps us focused and engaged. And, it takes brain power and brain chemistry to have willpower, right? We need to be feeling good and getting good rest and having good habits, and also not being in environments that just drain us to nothing, right? So trying to look at our life from a bigger picture, from a higher perspective. How do we set ourselves up to really be in the reality that our soul is trying to manifest and create, right? And I've done this little by little over the years. I've changed my job so I can have like the daylight hours that I want. You know, I've found ways to tweak my life, and it's not like I didn't have to give things up to do it. I had to make changes and I had to make hard decisions, but ultimately it's led me to a place that I like being and I like growing, and it's a path that's continuing to evolve rather than just staying stagnant, right? So don't be afraid of getting into the depths. Don't be afraid of finding out, okay, how am I self-deceiving? How is the adversary trying to pull the wool over my eyes by just, making me sleepwalk through life, or not realizing the truth of a situation or the true nature of a situation, right? Maybe looking at something with rose-colored glasses that are, past their prescription, and it's time to maybe take a second look, right? An updated consideration. All right. Well, I'm excited. I think we've got a lot of homework to do. We're also inching into, I think probably at the new moon starts our month of Virgo, which is the month of Teshuvah. And it's our reflection and preparation, the 40 days of reflection and preparation before Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and our high holy holidays, where we have a spiritual new year and we get like this huge soul upgrade, and the year ahead will kind of be determined on that day. So the more prepared and aware we are as the going through those 40 days, the deeper our connection is on the days when we participate. And then that is really the thing that builds the vessel for that particular quality of light that's available during specifically that window in time. All right, well, that is all for today. I will see you all later. Just as quick update on Substack, I am kind of having to focus on this other sort of like practical adulting, thing right now. So I haven't been able to really put a lot of focus in it, but it doesn't matter anyway because no one signed up for it yet anyway. So that's cool. So I think a couple of you here maybe follow me on Substack, but no one's paying for anything yet. So I'll let you guys know. You always know I let you know exactly when something's available. And I think there's like one article up now, but it'll be there in the archives once everything's ready and we can launch. Life isn't perfect, and sometimes you don't get to go on a streamlined straight shot. Sometimes it's a winding path and things come up and you have to shift your focus for a minute. But I think it's good to make those choices consciously to make sure it's not just like a shiny object, but sometimes life is just not in a straight line. So I'll let you guys know as that develops. But it feels like this is more urgent in a way, or more of like a current priority because it's time sensitive, whereas the other one isn't necessarily. All right, you all. Well, that is all for tonight. And I will see you tomorrow for our weekly manifestation oracle message. Until then, peace be with you. Ciao. We're in an opportune moment before our next lunation that will open up the portal of eclipse season. During this time, we should remain present and alert to the hidden parts of our nature that repeatedly and inevitably rear their ugly heads to sabotage our alignment with the ultimate plan for our lives. The key will be to allow the subconscious to present itself in reflexive and reactive ways. As soon as you catch these things, pause, disengage from the train of thought, feeling, or action, and observe. Do so as if you are a detective or a scientist analyzing the clues and the information. They do not become upset. They are not taking it personally. They're open and curious to discover what they've not yet realized. The mystic is like the scientist of the soul, seeking to find solutions to free the soul to reveal the higher self and its unique potential and purpose. Follow the clues into the depths, but do not become consumed by the weighty, shadowy waters. It is only there that we can unlock the fears and deceptions that are keeping us stuck and holding us back. Eclipses have the power to both strip away and propel forward in a way that plays out over the next 6 months. Don't waste the next 6 months in a painful shedding process. Do it now so that the next 6 months can grow seeds you're currently planting.